Storm Tracker rates Weather University on WRIC Now is sponsored by Blank & Marcus, attorneys at law. Nice guys working to make a difference.
And hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weather University. Of course, as always, my friend and colleague, Jacqueline Waters, joining me this morning. And Jacqueline, I'm going to bring you up here for just a second. We'll get a little chat of what's going on here. Not in that one. Let's try in that one instead. So the big story is the fact that we've been super hot.
Yes.
And the tropics have been quiet for a while. But all of a sudden,
have.
they might get a little active soon.
Yes, and we are getting further into the summer season as I have that countdown for fall. I'm so excited for fall.
How many days?
55.
Okay.
But, I mean, we are starting to see things get a little busier in the tropics. I know, especially the Pacific, they are busy out there. But now we do have this disturbance we are watching, and it has a medium chance of developing over the next 7 days.
And again, we got to just tell people that, this is something to watch. It's not something that is happening right now, that kind of a thing. It's just like, hey, let's just figure out what's going on. And one of the things that we look at is the sea surface temperature. You put together this map here just showing how warm that water is.
Yeah, it's definitely warm. I mean, we saw it with Hurricane Beryl that quickly strengthened into a Category 5. And, I mean, you could see all those sea surface temperatures are above 80 degrees. And when you get closer to the Gulf, they get closer to the middle 80s. So definitely conducive for development.
And in that area, too, there's not a lot of shear. So that means there's not winds that are, like, pulling it apart. Yep. So that's great news. So maybe if you want tropical weather, maybe this will happen for you. Of course, we really don't because we know this is going to be an active season. It started off with a bang as we are now going to our D storm, which is Debbie. So, yeah, let's hope that this doesn't happen for sure. But
something we are watching, though.
For sure. All right, we are approaching the end of July here.
Yes.
Just a couple of days away, Wednesday, and it has been the typical month, 89 for the high. There was a stretch there where we actually had 90 for the average high, but it kind of bookends. And rainfall is typically 4 1/3, and this has not been a normal July.
No, it's been very wet. We all know it. I mean, a lot of days there you could see we had a lot of rainfall, and the monthly total now near 8 inches. So very, very wet July.
That is a tremendous amount of rain.
Yes.
And when we kind of put the whole season and year together for you here, that nearly 8 inches is almost 4 inches above where we should be. So this is something we should point out here, where it says normal month. We just saw a normal month a second ago that showed 4.37. Right.
Yeah.
This is a normal month to today.
Yes.
Right.
So we have, 3 days left of August? July?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Yeah, July. Right. So that being said, we would get another tenth of a tenth, and that would put us at that 4.37.
Something also I noticed on here, normal month says 3.92, departure says 3.92, but that's just because 3.92 plus 3.92 is 7.84.
Look at that.
I was like, that looks weird. And then I'm like, wait, no, it makes sense.
It makes sense. It does, for sure. And then for the year, we've had 34 inches, a little bit more than that, almost 8.5 inches above normal.
Yes.
We had a very wet winter all the way through May, and then June was super dry, and everybody was, oh my God, and now we've kind of caught back up again. We did have a drought to contend with for a while.
Yes, we did. I mean, because of that very dry June. And luckily now we are seeing a lot of that rain. I mean, we had a lot of flooding impacts also last week, but right now this is our latest drought monitor. It comes out every Thursday.
Yep.
And that severe, even that extreme drought is out to the west. And likely with the new update this Thursday, it's likely going to get worse because we haven't really seen too much rain since Thursday.
I'm going to go back to that July rain calendar here. I'm just going to step backward for a second because so that's done. It's put out Thursday, and it's really the previous Thursday to the Wednesday is the calendar that they work at. So if you look at this past Thursday, we had 900ths. Then dry, then dry, then dry. And in the next couple of days, we've been talking about the forecast. All we have is these pop-up storms, which means not everybody gets them.
No. And, the western part of the state definitely needs the rain.
Yeah, big time.
At least we have the chance. Could be worse.
Right. There is the chance they could get some of those storms. Maybe that helps them out in that respect. But, there's no systems like a tropical system per se that would come in and soak everybody down with 2, 3, 4 inches of rain.
True.
That kind of a thing.
That's what we need.
What we would like for sure. All right, so August is around the corner, and we are flying today in our discussion here. here.
Yeah.
I have to slow it down.
We were so hyped up from the Twisters last week. At least we're not arguing this time.
No, we really never argue. We have a lot of fun.
We debate.
So, okay, July high temperatures, before we get to that. You did something cool here. Tell me what you did.
I just counted.
Good job, yeah.
I used my addition,
Captain Obvious.
my addition skills that I learned in elementary school, and I counted up those below average days and those seasonable days because instead of you guys counting, I just counted. But it was a very mixed bag. I mean, it felt hotter than it was this July. And I think that's because it was so humid. So the heat index values we had triple-digit heat indices a lot of days in July. But the actual air temperatures, we had pretty much the same below average days and pretty much the same seasonable days. And then a few more above average days with those temperatures. And then it is color-coded. So if you do want to count or see what days.
Right, and if we were to throw this in here, based on the forecast, so today we're looking at 90, tomorrow roughly near 90, Wednesday being the last day of the month, we're looking at 95, so that would be above average. So we're going to end up, almost like a 10, 9, and 12 kind of a thing there. So, but then as we start August, well, that's when things get really interesting because we could be talking about some real good heat coming in. Wednesday, we talked about 95.
Yep.
Thursday, Friday, 97, both days, what we're looking at. And that heat index on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe Saturday, 105 plus. Jacqueline, you're shaking your head. This is great stuff.
It is not great stuff. Ugh, no.
It's great. So
it's not great. I like the great number, August 31st. Our average high drops down to 86. So,
yeah. And every once in a while in August, we get what I call a wacky day or two, where we actually get a strong fall front that'll blow through, and maybe we get some good showers and storms, whatever. But behind it, we get a day that's like, 78 for a high with no no humidity at all or something crazy. And it's rare, but it does happen. Or sometimes we get a day that's like rainy and like 72,
That's nice.
So, crazy things can happen for sure. The average rainfall for the month of August is just under 5 inches. And the reason why it's so high is because August gets into the beginning of, you ready for the next side?
Tropical.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we did start off with a bang as we saw Beryl. But we're still kind of in that low category with tropical activity. That's why it's been very quiet.
Right.
And you could see there as we head into August, we're still in the low to very low in the medium category.
Yep.
And then we really do peak up into that high category by September. And then that peak of hurricane season in the Atlantic is September 10th.
And that's
on
when
average,
the waters are the warmest.
Yep.
Sometimes the shear is the weakest. And and again, it could become very active very quick for us in due time. So, it's time to enjoy the beach while you can before things get a little active.
Get trip insurance if you're going.
If you're going somewhere, right?
Somewhere that gets hurricanes. So.
Right. It's better to lose that than lose the bigger money, in my opinion. But, I'm not a travel expert. I just know what I know. So, yeah. So, again, looking pretty quiet for the most part. Again, watching one area out in the tropics. But that's really about all we have going on today.
I know. We were trying to think what to talk about, but
we
should. If anyone has any ideas and wants us to do something on it, let us know.
You can always email Jacqueline at jwaters@wric.com or me, DiNardo at wric.com. It's really easy, and we'll kind of put something together to talk about something. Maybe you want to know, what is heat lightning, or why does hail form, or how come tornadoes are so dangerous, or whatever the case may be. We could always take your suggestions to talk about things like that.
We love science.
We do, for sure. Anyway, again, my guest, as always, has been Jacqueline Waters. I want to thank you so much for joining us, Jacqueline.
Thank you.
Nice and easy today, and with that, we'll say in the word of the French, since we're talking about
Merci
the Olympics.
beaucoup.
Thank you very much. And
thank you very much for joining.
Au revoir.
Merci beaucoup.